Yeah. But let's talk Khamzat. Do you
Yeah, yeah.
agree that Khamzat should stay at 170, right? Because his only chance is, listen, if he wants to, Khamzat's best chance of becoming a UFC champion is 170. I think he's going to be a champion at 185 someday. His best chance is at 170. I think he's almost guaranteed to get the belt at 170. It's now or never. If Khamzat doesn't fight at 170 now, he'll never get to fight at 170 again because he'll be too big. The weight cut will get harder. I think Khamzat Chimaev should say, should, I think there's a chance they could match him up with Leon now. So I think that Khamzat Chimaev should stay at 170, perfect the weight cut. Listen, he could lose muscle. I don't know if that would be good. It might be bad, but he could just perfect the weight cut.
Like if Paulo Costa can perfect a weight cut.
If Paulo Costa can perfect the weight cut, Khamzat can too. So if Habib can, like, I understand that it's, sometimes it's so hard to make weight for these guys, and I get it. I just think that it's worth it, bro. Like, you could make it. If you do it, then make the weight. But, it would really suck if he fought at 170 again and did make weight. That would be awful.
Yeah, I think he
I
would.
would hate that.
I think that may be his concern that like he may do
But
this.
do you think that he couldn't make, like, do you think, 'cause my original thing was that he never even tried to make weight, but I don't know.
What I think happened with that weight cut was I think they notified him on short notice for the Nate Diaz fight. I think he was maybe a little bit heavier than he usually is going into camp. I think that's why he missed weight.
Could
But
be.
I think he was trying to cut weight super fast towards the end, and I think like his body was just really starting to break down. You know what I mean? So he had to stop the weight cut. But I think if he really goes into a camp like not that high of a weight and like it's not like a super short notice fight, I think he'd make weight no problem because he's never had a problem with
Yeah.
it in the past. You know what I mean? Like, so I think the UFC should really try to get him to fight Leon, have the Leon Chimaev fight as soon as possible because let's be honest, like nobody cares to wait for Usman. Nobody cares. I'm sorry. Nobody cares to wait for Usman.
Yeah, like, honestly, I mean, Usman, I
You
think he
really,
deserves a title shot
but
for
he'll
his next
get one.
fight. He'll
He'll
get
get
one.
one.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
think that Hamzat and Edwards should be the next fight. And I think that Hamzat moving up to 185, I think he could still beat everyone there. However, I think his fights are much harder. Like, Whitaker is still a nightmare matchup for him. I think Whitaker gives him his hardest fight. I think
Costa.
that's as close of a, maybe, like, it's almost a 50-50 for me. I don't, my thing is with that fight, I don't know. Given that Hamzat's been so dominant, I could see him winning that fight. But I also could see Whitaker winning that fight if he keeps it on the feet, if he can stuff the takedowns. And then a guy like Paulo Costa could potentially stuff
That's not an
takedowns.
easy fight. That's not an easy
But the
fight.
thing is with Costa, I think that Hamzat's just way more skilled because the middleweight division, what some people aren't taking into account, what I think should be made more of a big deal, outside of Whitaker and Israel Adesanya, I think the middleweight division is one of the least skilled divisions in the UFC. And because of that, I think that guys put too much into the guys at the top of the ranks of middleweight, outside of Adesanya, outside of Whitaker. Whereas guys that are ranked in the top five are actually not very good. Like, Marvin Vettori is not very good.
Just
He's
tough.
not very talented. He's not talented at all. He's not that skilled. He's a little bit well rounded. He's tough. He's got good cardio. That's it. But he's not very good. Paulo Costa is the same. He's not very good. Sure, he's got decent power, but is it really that good? I mean, like, has he been KOing anyone other than like washed up guys or guys that get KO'd all the time on his come up? Like, Paulo Costa's tough. He doesn't have he doesn't have great cardio. Arguably lost against Yoel Romero still. Like, I don't think he's that good. I think Hamzat's a better striker than them. I think Hamzat could hit as hard as him. I think he's tough. Does he have good takedown defense? Yes, that's the question. But even then, like, I really think that Hamzat's just skill for skill much better than every middleweight except for Whitaker. I think he beats Izzy. Whitaker's the one who worries me.
Yeah.
I don't think Hamzat would fight Whitaker. I think if he fought Costa, listen, I think Costa's a tough fight, but I think he gets it done. I still think he should wait because I think he should build himself up in middleweight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think he should ever like. I don't know. Like he said something about moving up to 185 on his Twitter. He just tweeted 185, and the only possible fight would be Costa. But like, what I
That's
think
the
he
only
should do is
possible one right now because
he
he said he doesn't
has
want to
the
fight
he
Whitaker.
has the freaking he has the welterweight title shot. He
He
has
has
it.
it in
You
the
know what I mean?
bag.
He has it in the bag. And then if he once he wins the title at welterweight, he gets a title shot at middleweight if he wants. You know what I'm saying? Like you avoid fighting a guy like Paulo Costa that won't really get you like that like it's literally okay. It's between fighting for a title or fighting Costa, in my opinion. That's what I think it is. And I think that there's just no point of risking
Yeah.
it fighting a guy like Costa, which is a really tough fight. You know what I mean? Like obviously he's not skilled, but like
Right. I still think he's tough and big and he could stuff takedowns
yeah, and
potentially.
he's not gonna like pick up Costa and throw him into the
No, no, he's not going to do
like
that.
bring him to his corner. Like that's not gonna happen. So I think you win the bout at 170. That you demand this Leon fight. I say you
But
demand,
Khamzat, we also have to remember, I think Khamzat at middleweight is also big. So
but
I
he's
think that's
not.
his natural weight class. I think Khamzat's just a natural, like how he makes 170, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but I think what he should do is I think he should demand the title shot at 170.
I
Demand it.
think he should say like, I'm ready to go. Leon, where you at? Like, let's do it.
I say he starts
Let Kamaru
calling.
rest. Let Kamaru rest. You know, he'll fight the like, let's go. I think that should happen. If I'm Leon Edwards, I'm not taking that fight.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
the thing that sucks. Like,
but
if I'm
like
Leon
Dana,
Edwards, I'm saying I need some more time. And then wait, you know, Kamaru's ready. They'll make that fight first. And then Leon Edwards, I really think he has no chance to beat Hamzat. I don't think he has any chance to beat
oh
him. I
no.
think he gets ragdolled and I think he gets submitted.
But do you think Usman
Like
has no chance?
we saw him get beat up on the ground, wrestling, out wrestled. I mean, yes, he knocked out Usman, but he was also getting beat up for most of that fight from wrestling exchanges. And I think Hamzat's a more dangerous wrestler because if he gets it to the ground, he could actually finish you. Usman has no submission threat whatsoever, whereas Hamzat does.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
Hamzat makes guys look like they're 3 weight classes below him.
yeah, I mean, do you
I
think?
still think I'd pick Usman against Edwards in the rematch. So I think Edwards is good. I think he's like definitely up there. I think he's one of the best guys. I think he's clearly the top 5 welterweights in my mind are Edwards, Usman, Colby, Hamzat, and Shavkat. I think that Burns is in there too, but like I just don't think that they're. I don't think that Edwards is better than Hamzat. I think Hamzat would beat him.
Yeah, I think Hamza would smoke Edwards, but I think he should just demand the fight, and then the UFC will
I
give
think
him.
he should, man.
You
I think they
demand
should
that.
do it in the UK.
Yeah, why doesn't Chimaev say let's fight let's fight in the UK let's fight Leon let's fight in the UK and
It's close to Sweden too.
yeah, stuff like that. I think I can't see the UFC like turning that down, you know what I mean? Like especially if he's bringing a ton of attention to it. You know what I mean? I just don't know what he's thinking, honestly. Like I feel like if Chimaev never returns to 170 again, like it makes me change my outlook on the guy. Because like we talked about in the past, like this guy
Yeah, because we're less sure. We don't have the same
has
certainty.
GOAT potential if he fight wins the bout at 170 first. You know what I mean? Like and if he moves up to 185, like there's just not as much certainty. You know what I mean? We've never seen it do this to the bigger guys. You know what I mean? The at least the more talented bigger guys. So I would definitely like him to fight for the belt next, demand the Leon fight. Say I'll fight in the UK, take that fight, win the belt, and then move up to 185, fight the winner of Adesanya and Pereira, and then become double champ. And then what happens from there doesn't really like, isn't as important because you're already a double champion, which brings you all time status either way. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll know in the next coming weeks about Chimaev, like what's gonna happen. But
You think that soon? I'd love to
I
find out
mean,
that
they
quickly, but
said they said that they're looking at Madison Square Garden UFC 281 and like that. I mean, that's what
whoa,
his coach said, or 282, and like I'm sure they're
that would
booking.
be great.
I'm sure
Listen,
they're going to be booking
if
that.
I'm gonna be, I mean, listen, if Hamzat fights Costa at Madison Square Garden, I'll be happy because at least I get to see him fight. And listen, if he beats Costa, he gets a title shot, and if it's Izzy or Pereira, I think he beats both of them. So his issue with me is Whitaker. Like I genuinely think he should, because it'd be way cooler if he gets the belt at 170 and then moves up and gets the belt.
Yeah.
Because if he wins the belt at 170, he gets a title shot immediately at 185.
Yeah, and like even if when he wins the belt at 185, like even if he gets a loss to Whitaker, like it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? You'll still be legendary status since you were a double champ. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
like you could like take those more risky fights in that situation because you're ready.
He said he wants to train with Whitaker, which I think is I think it's better than training with Darren Till.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a great move though, because Whitaker's gonna fight for a title again. I know that.
Yeah,
and
well, he's too young.
Does he really want to like? I mean, do they? I don't know if that's good, because if they fight each other someday, I don't know why they would train together. They can't avoid each other if they're both that good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Volk and Max training together before they ever fight. They're gonna fight.
Or like Charles and like Volk training together or something. You know what I mean? Like it's
exactly.
Just, like, it doesn't make sense. I mean, that's I feel like in my opinion, that's kind of both their ways of saying like,
who do you think it benefits more? I think it might benefit
it benefits
Whitaker more.
Yeah, because Whitaker avoids the legend of Chimaev. You know what I mean? Like he avoids this phenom, you know, like the Mike Tyson of grappling, you know, like he avoids this guy. And like Chimaev, like who knows? We could be completely like we both think that Whitaker is the hardest fight for Chimaev, but we could be completely wrong. And
Chimaev, he could
Chimaev could just completely run through.
If he runs through Whitaker, though, I think he runs through like.
No, but like he may.
Such a good fighter. Like he's such a good striker. He's dangerous. He's fast. He's got great takedown defense, good athleticism as well. I think if he runs through Whitaker, everyone like he's gonna be the GOAT, because no one runs through Robert Whitaker. I mean, Israel Adesanya knocked him out, but he's improved so much since then. That was so long. That was like 3.5 years ago. He's improved so much since then.
Also, the thing is like, what do you think is more likely, like Chimaev running through Whitaker or Whitaker running through Chimaev? I think it's Chimaev running through.
Yeah, it's Chimaev running through Whitaker for sure.
Exactly. So like it benefits Whitaker. You know,
I think if Whitaker won, it'd be like a dirty fight. Like he would get a decision or something like that. I think he'd like edge out a decision.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I mean, I would like to see that fight, but I don't know. I just want to see Chimaev win the belt at 170. Yeah. Like, please. Like, I don't care. Like,
but let me ask you, would you rather Chimaev fight this year at 185 against Costa, or would you rather see him wait like 6 months?
6 months.
Really?
Because look.
Yeah. Dude, I guarantee you, if he signs to fight Paulo Costa, you're gonna be happy to see that.
I mean, I'll be excited, but I'll be more excited to like know that he's fighting for the belt next. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Like, but that's the thing. If he wins, here's another thing.
That's so.
If he fights Costa again, this will be a really long journey to get a title shot, because right now he's earned it. He's like he could have earned it with Burns.
I think he did earn it with Burns.
He did earn it with Burns.
Who did Leon beat that was as good as Burns?
Remember, Nate Diaz was supposed to be a fight just so that we could wait for Usman and Edwards. That was the only reason that was made. He earned it with Burns.
Oh, yeah, no.
So people saying, oh, he fought Kevin Holland, he doesn't deserve it. Like, he got his title shot by beating Gilbert Burns.
That's why I don't want to see him fight another guy to earn something else.
Exactly. No, I understand that. I understand that too. I just think that if he chooses 185, he's never going to 170. And in that case, he's going to be fighting there for a long time anyway. Whereas if he takes another fight at 170, I don't think he needs to do that. Unless it's Colby, but we know that's never going to happen.
We don't want to, honestly, like, the Colby fight's never going to happen. And like,
it's never going to happen ever. I mean, that's the kind of fight that, you know, Colby would only take that fight if it's for a title. That's the issue, man. Colby Covington will never take a tough fight if it's not a title shot. He'll never take a tough fight. He'll never fight anyone coming off of a win who's an up-and-coming contender. He'll only fight guys that are coming off of losses or guys that are, you know, washed up. It's the thing that pisses me off about Colby.
Yeah, and I think also
good, but he never fights anyone.
Yeah, and I think also Chimaev, fighting a guy like Costa at a 185 is different than Chimaev fighting a different guy at 85. Because a guy like Costa, you're going to have to gain muscle against.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you fight Costa, you're going to have to gain some muscle.
Yeah,
before you
for
fight
sure.
a guy like, let's say he fought a guy like Derek Brunson or like
Darren Till.
Darren, one of these like Marvin Vittori, like
I
one of
think
these
he's.
guys,
I think he beats them.
and he wouldn't need to gain muscle for it. Like I think when
No.
you fight a guy like Costa who's that strong and that like you know what I mean, that like
Yeah.
powerful, everything, that good on the ground, like you have to gain some muscle, you know, like because like how it is, like Chimaev, I don't think he would be able to take.
Except for Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like a guy
Well, he
like
grew a tit. He
what?
grew a tit. He grew a
Yeah,
tit.
yeah, exactly. So like,
He took steroids for
yeah,
that
so
one.
you either before fighting a guy like Paulo Costa, you either need to gain a ton of muscle or just do the Izzy route and just take
Take
steroids. But
steroids.
I think like if Chimaev fought a guy like Izzy, I don't think he would need to gain muscle. I think if he fought a guy like Pereira, he wouldn't need to gain muscle. I think if he fought a guy like Whitaker, he wouldn't need to gain muscle. But I think if you fight a guy like Paulo Costa who's that strong, you have to gain muscle going into that fight,
Yeah,
especially if your way of winning or the way you're gonna like go for winning
is by
is through
grappling,
grappling. You know what I mean?
especially.
So like if he fights a guy like Paulo Costa, that says that he's never going back to 170. Like
Yeah,
there's just no way he's going back to 170.
which
So
again is a shame because his chances of winning at 205 are way lower than his chances of winning at 170 and 185.
yeah,
Like 205, he like that would be basically the same thing as Charles Oliveira fighting Israel Adesanya. Like I think that's too much of a jump. It's too big
yeah.
of a jump.
But who knows though? Because like this, that's why I say like you win the 170-pound belt. You go to 185, you gain more muscle going into 185, and then you continue gaining muscle, and
I
then
mean,
you
it could
maybe
happen. It could
205.
happen, but it's just way harder because
Oh
those
yeah,
guys are naturally way bigger.
but
Like
but
Fury is
that's
what,
why
six five?
that's why you win the belt at 170 first, though. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
of
Like
course.
this is why you win the belt at 170 first. Like, and yeah, so I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that this Costa fight just never happens and that he's forced to kind of just fight at 170 or just see, honestly what Chimaev should honestly do is like or what if he just like, why doesn't he just wait to see what happens with Adesanya Pereira? That's what I don't understand. Like you could literally
Because
just wait.
he's not going to get a title shot at 185.
But like, who's more like in that situation? Who's more work? What if Israel beats Pereira? Who's
If
more
Israel
work?
beats Pereira,
Who's he gonna fight? That's
I mean, I could see that. I could see that for sure. I just think that, it's also weird. Like Costa beat, Rockhold. That's not a good win.
oh no, he's not getting a title shot at all.
No, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
So that's
but
why
I
they
think the
have to have him
UFC
fight
wants, I
Chimaev.
don't think the UFC wants to throw him at 180. I don't think he's earned a title shot at 185. He's never, I mean, thing is like this, like he's earned it at 170, but when have we seen a contender move up and get a title shot out of nowhere? Like that's never happened.
No, that is true. That is true. I
It,
mean,
it has never happened.
Chill Sonnen, it happened, and that's with John Jones when he was a number one contender there. So he fought it. He fought.
Yeah, but that was Chael, and he
Yeah,
was a big shit talker, and I think someone dropped out of that fight too.
yeah. I think you may. Then they won the ultimate. Yeah, yeah. Because I think he agreed he'll do the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, so that's true. But so then he has to freaking fight for 170, like Chimaev. Like, don't gain that much weight the off season. Like, just like maybe lose a tiny bit of muscle and fight for this 170-pound belt. Like, win the belt and then friggin' fight for the 85 belt. Like, it's just like I don't get it. I don't get what where his management's here saying. Like, if I'm in his management, I'm telling him that like you're making a huge mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he should not do that. I don't like it. But I before we like